Hey you guys, so today we are going to be talking about skin pigmentation, hyperpigmentation, and scarring, and how to basically get rid of scars naturally. Because you guys know I only do things naturally. We are not here for quick fixes and pills and chemicals and toxins in the body. So stay tuned. So first off, when I was going through TSW, topical steroid withdrawal or steroid withdrawal, or even when I had eczema, I always noticed that I would scar really easy. And they would be like dark blemishes on my arms. And I hated it. It made me so self-conscious as a kid. And I always wanted to cover up. I would always put sweaters on. It'd be like 100 degrees outside where I live in California. And I remember being like in junior high school and wearing like zip-ups because I was trying to like cover my arms. And I didn't really have eczema on my legs back then, but after going through TSW, I'll show you guys some pictures here. You'll see that I had some crazy scarring going on during the process. Now, while I was going through it, I just wanted to get through it. I kind of didn't care so much about how bad the scars were. But thinking about it, I was just like, damn, like, am I really gonna be scarred like this with all of these scars after like I'm done with the withdrawal? It really kind of messed with me a little bit. But I just want you guys to know that, especially those of you suffering through steroid withdrawal, I want you to know that you will get through it. A lot of the scarring will go away after, but there are ways to make them go away earlier if you catch them earlier. So I remember having a certain flare-up where I just was getting all of these bumps. If you watched my last video, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I had all of these bumps that were like blistering open on my chest and on my stomach and on my arms and on my legs too. But it was mostly it was really bad scarring, like dark scarring of pigmentation on my stomach. And I remember thinking what am I gonna do? This looks like I have chicken pox scars, but they were really dark. So after doing some research with the medical medium and then kind of experimenting on myself, I realized these things that definitely help with scarring and that I use and take into consideration today if I have any scars or blemishes or anything like that. So number one, plant-based eating. Now obviously you guys know by now that I've been vegan for over 2.5 years, but eating plant-based foods totally nourishes the body and gives the body all the vitamins and the nutrients that it needs in order to build back up the cells that have been damaged. So that's going to be my first thing. So not just eating vegan, but I mean plant-based eating whole food plant-based foods that are free of preservatives or anything packaged really that's processed. You want to stay away from that kind of stuff, or processed sugars or anything like that. You want to eat more whole plant-based foods, especially fruit. Fruit is so healing and replenishes the body on another level. Obviously you guys have seen, in the past, in my last video, I talk about how much, eating raw foods just helps in general. So on top of eating plant-based foods, when you eat raw foods, especially fruit, you'll notice a huge difference in your skin in general. So I ate raw for 7 months, which I talked about also in my last video. Some of the stuff is going to be very interrelated, but this video I wanted to do kind of separately because I know that even outside of TSW I had trouble with these types of scarrings and stuff like that as a youth. And then I would say the next thing, we can say number two, would be cutting out fats. Fats are super hard for the body to detox on while it's healing. So if you keep your fats to a minimum, this helps the body detox and helps the body be able to replenish itself while it's trying to heal, instead of having to focus on eating or digesting other foods. And fats are a little bit harder for the body to process. Another one is obviously staying hydrated. You guys should know this by now. If you're super hydrated, it reflects in your skin, and your skin is able to put moisture back into those areas and, you know, coat the cells. And so the two things that I recommend are a lot of juices, and that's especially celery juice.
Y'all know celery juice is gonna be on there.
So celery juice for sure. Two very good detoxing juices also would be like plain watermelon juice and grape juice. They're very, very good for the lymphatic system, so they can push out a lot of toxic waste. So those two are very good. A lot of green juices will help as well. So any type of juices will go straight into the digestive system and will be able to be absorbed into the system without having to do much work to process it. So also, you know, of course, you guys know I'm gonna say water, lemon water even better, or lemon or lime water, ginger water. So lots of fluids. These are going to help your body and your skin stay hydrated. If your skin's super dry, it's gonna have to focus on healing other things. So definitely make sure you have lots of fluids flowing through your system, especially fluids that have lots of vitamin and mineral content in just the juice. It's going to just help you tremendously, and you're gonna feel overall better in general. Like, I'm sure some of you guys have juiced before. I know that, like, when I have gone on some juice fasts, like, I just feel so energized and good, and my skin looks great, and it's just like awesome. So definitely get some juicing going. Another thing that I kind of wanted to bring up, and I didn't talk about this in my last video, is herbs. So about 2.5 years ago, I really got heavy into alkaline herbs from Dr. Sebi, and so I did a bunch of research. I took some of his herbs myself. I got a lot of herbal books, and what I started doing was making my own herbs and encapsulating them myself. And I would buy the herbs in bulk, and then I would encapsulate them, and I started taking them for my own health to heal myself naturally and to help all of my organs kind of like get a reset and a reboot after all of the damage it had gone through from ulcerative colitis and steroid withdrawal. So I have been taking herbs for a little over 2.5 years too, which is kind of crazy to think that, but it's definitely got me into like herbal health and how to kind of naturally heal yourself on herbs versus like pharmaceutical medicine, because I haven't taken anything, like not even like Tylenol or nothing like that, for over probably a year and a half, and I don't plan to. So I know that, you know, Mother Earth has provided us with all of the essential things that we need. We do not need any chemicals to offset our natural body and healing. So you know, healing comes in the form of nutrition and plant foods, and it also comes in plants like herbs. So I basically just buy the dried herbs and I take these supplements, but I basically purchase the dried herbs and then I encapsulate them and take them daily. Now I take a bunch of different herbs, but these specific ones are great for the skin, and I've noticed a huge difference in using them specifically for my skin. So the first one is milk thistle. So I'm sure a lot of you guys that maybe even do like bodybuilding or anything like that, you've heard of milk thistle, or any type of liver cleanse. You've heard of milk thistle is a big one. So basically milk thistle cleanses the liver. Now we're kind of talking about like what herbs we're using. If you have what is so-called hyperpigmentation, or you just know that you scar really bad, you are suffering from a sluggish liver or an overburdened liver. So overburdened by too many fats, or sluggish meaning that like it's just not working optimally in order to detox all of the toxins and chemicals out of the body. So then it takes time, or it takes too long, or you just notice scarring kind of happening in the skin. And so in order to make that kind of go away, you need to focus on what you're putting into your body. So that's why, of course, we started with the raw foods, the plant-based foods, and you know, all of the fluids, because really there's all these topical, you know, chemicals and creams that promise to make your skin, you know, do these wonderful things, but you know, a lot of it has to do with how your body is on the inside. That's really what it comes down to. So you can cover up your face and put whatever you want on top of this, you know, whether they're acne scars or scars from eczema, or maybe a cut or a scrape or anything like that, and you just find it really hard for your scars to lighten up or go away, that's kind of like a problem you're most likely running into. So these specific herbs also help detox the liver. So number one, milk thistle. Milk thistle is a great detoxer for the liver. Another one is sarsaparilla, and Dr. Sebi uses this one a lot in his Iron Plus, I think, which is one of the names of his supplements that he gives, and it's very high in iron. And so is another one called Yellow Dock. And these herbs that I'm mentioning to you, they also have a ton of other health benefits. So I recommend that you research them on your own yourself, just so you can know all of the other benefits they have as well. Because Yellow Dock is also high in iron, and it's also good for bile production in the gut. So it kind of keeps things moving in your digestive system. And another one, which a lot of you guys are now finding out about, which is awesome, but it's kind of crazy because it's hard for me to find now because everybody wants it, which is sea moss, Irish sea moss. So Irish sea moss, you can buy it in raw form. Irish sea moss is basically just a seaweed, a sea vegetable. So you can buy it in its raw form and soak it up. It's usually dried. You soak it in water and then it kind of gels up, and then you can blend it into a gel and take it daily like a supplement. Or you can get the dried herb that can be encapsulated, or you can purchase it dried and encapsulate it yourself, which preferably raw is best. And I have some raw that I got from when I was in Bali that I still have. I bought a few packs because it was super cheap out there. And then I also do the dried and encapsulated when I'm kind of like on the go. And as most of you know, maybe some of you guys don't, but Irish sea moss has a large amount of vitamins and minerals for the body, 98 out of the like 102 that are essential for our needs as a human, and to be kind of like working optimally and properly. So as you can imagine, that's like basically a vitamin supplement. So I take that as well. Yeah, so I would say those four are like top for like skin. And the Irish sea moss, like you'll just notice your skin just is glowing. And if you guys are going through TSW, you may notice that like in the beginning, some of the supplements that you might take, they don't seem like they're doing much at first, but I'm telling you, like I noticed a huge difference once my body was more so cleansed. And I didn't kind of notice until later, but I had already been taking some of the herbs prior. So, I mean, there were just so many benefits by taking these herbs just overall. I mean, burdock root also is super high in iron, and like the sea moss is also good for like the bones, and like if you have any like arthritis or anything like that, it really is helpful for that. And it also kind of suppresses the appetite a little bit, so if you're kind of trying to, you know, do some fasting or anything like that, that's awesome as well. So those I would say were the four herbs that I feel like work best for the skin, and you should totally get some of those to help your liver kind of cleanse, to help your overall body do some cleansing so that your skin can kind of really get back to its regular pigmentation. And even now, I mean, like I just noticed a huge difference in my skin. It's just amazing. I love learning about herbs and all of that stuff. I like geek out on it. But yeah, and I've used myself as like a guinea pig, and I've experimented on myself with specific herbs. And I've also even helped heal some of my friends from certain things like bladder infections or other, you know, headaches or issues or anything like that. I've just experimented on myself and then give herbs to my friends when they have stuff, and they always, you know, call me up and will be like, you know, I have this and this symptom, you know, what could you give me to help me for this, or what kind of foods do I need to eat? They know that I'm the go-to for that, because I for sure will not tell you to take no Tylenol or no aspirin, or will not tell you to put no special cream on it. Everything that I'm going to recommend is going to be from the earth. So next, number 5 would be the things we could put on ourselves topically, and one thing that I'm super an advocate of is aloe vera. So my last video I talked to you guys about putting it on your skin for like hives and stuff, but it's also super good for scarring, and you want to get it really from the plant. It's just so much more essential, and there's nothing processed in it. It's not heated or anything like that, because you know, obviously when you heat certain products or when you heat certain types of plants or even foods, it kills a lot of the natural enzymes. So if you can kind of cut it in its raw state and put some of the leaf on your skin, it'll dry really fast. And the actual aloe vera that you get from the leaf is not thick, it's very thin. It's also amazing for your skin for like a night mask. And you'll just notice a huge difference. So if you have any cut or a scrape or anything like that, get some aloe vera and put it on right away. And then you can save the aloe vera leaf. You can like wrap it in whatever you want to wrap it in, and then store it in the fridge for like up to 3 weeks. So I always have it in the fridge because I drink it as well, so which is great for the internal body. And then also another thing while I'm on number 5 with aloe is you can also use, you know, certain natural oils on your skin like shea butters or coconut oil. I barely just started using anything on my skin because after TSW my body was rejecting all oils and stuff, but what I do like is I do like a little bit of coconut oil on my face, or a little bit like on my chest. I put a little bit on my chest and my arms today. It was like the first time I've used any type of oil in a long time, but there's so many different kinds, so just do your research. There's some that are better than others, and obviously cold pressed is going to be best. It's going to have like more vitamins and stuff. If you're looking for like a thicker butter or something, shea butter in its raw form is really nice and smooth for the body. But I like coconut oil because it's light and it doesn't make me feel sticky, and it kind of like seeps into my skin. And so you can totally like use that as well to kind of give your skin some extra hydration. But honestly, whatever that you're doing, it's going to be best to make sure it's what you're putting internally. Externally, it will show once you start doing that. And that's kind of like it as far as like what I would recommend. But I guess I could just tell you guys, like, when I remember, like I said, when my stomach and my chest was so like just covered in scarring, I was like, oh shit, like what am I gonna do? Like, am I gonna really be this scarred? Like, this is bad. People are gonna think I have like leprosy or something, or whatever it's called. I don't know, but I was just like, this is nuts. But I mean, I was in such a bad position at that point anyways because I was going through TSW, so I was just like, I just wanted the itching to stop. I was like, I'll fucking deal with these scars later. But yeah, so those are the things that I really recommend. And just know that like if you are suffering from any hyperpigmentation or scarring, you are dealing with a liver issue. I'm not saying you're gonna die because your liver is going bad or anything like that. I'm just basically saying your liver is overburdened. So it's just kind of like a signal to you to go into the root cause, like what is actually causing this issue in my body, and go to the root source, because, you know, putting things on topically are just going to help temporarily. They are not going to help you over time. And as I always say, if you have any issues with the body, you want to get to the root cause. We live in a society where we want everything just instant, and that's just not how it works. And then once you find the root cause, then you can actually start to heal yourself and not have to deal with the issue again. When I had all those scars on my stomach, I was itching so bad, I was just like, I want these scars to go away. You guys, they were covered all on my chest, and as you can see now, like, there's nothing. Like, I had a bunch on my arms too. And now I just have like little, you know, once in a while I'll get like a little itch here or there, but like nothing crazy at all. Nothing like TSW, y'all. I'm so excited. I don't have to deal with that shit no more. Gosh, that was crazy. But yeah, so after seeing my stomach like that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat raw and see how this works. So I started eating raw, and this is like when I was doing my raw journey because I was just so uncomfortable in TSW. So as I started eating raw, within 2 weeks, the scarring started lightening up. Like, it was almost significant to where they were almost gone. And I was just like, this is wild. Like, I was just like, this has been the secret the whole time. I could just eat raw foods and my skin's gonna like look beautiful and lighten up, and, you know, not lighten up like my skin color, but these scars will lighten up. Because y'all, I was trying to get tan. I was out there trying to like you know, tan these scars out. And that's another thing that I find interesting. A lot of people will say that, you know, oh, stay out the sun if you have scarring. No, honey, I was all up in the sun, and it actually helps. I don't know exactly what it does, but as I talked in the last video, sun is super healing, so it does some magical something, and my skin, it like evened a lot of the skin tone out, and yeah, it just, now I love my skin, and I will never take it for granted ever again. But that's all I have to say really for this video. If you guys have any more questions, let me know down below, and make sure you subscribe if you want to keep up with me, because I'm trying to post every week, but last week I recorded my ulcerative colitis video and I didn't like it, and I recorded it like 3 times, so I'm redoing it. I'm working on it. Got you UCers, I got you, because I know that's another hard battle to get through. But anyways, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.